So here's a question. How do you go from 3 to 300 leads every single month, mainly using online tools? Well, this was a very interesting story, and actually it's a campaign and a project that we spent well over 2 years on. When the solicitor originally came to us, the aim of the campaign was to dominate the marketplace. That was it. Clearly, with 3 leads every month, we're never going to dominate anything. So what I did is I had a look at what they were already doing, which quite honestly was extremely untargeted and what I would call pretty hopeless. So we did a few things. We did all the research initially. We found out exactly the process that people go through when they phone this particular solicitor, which was a drink driving and a drug driving solicitor. And we worked out the sequence of events or the journey that takes place. So if you think of it, what really happens is it could be any time of the day, especially in the night. That's the first thing. So they're not near a computer. The second thing is they will only have their phone with them, so it has to be done through the phone. The third thing is they had to be able to ring someone, even if it was 4 o'clock in the morning. How would they do that? So we tested a lot of different things during this campaign, and initially we took it to say 10 leads, and then from 10 leads we kept testing, so that we kept seeing in our minds people being stopped in the car in the pitch black, doing the breath test, failing the breath test. And then they would have to look on their phone there and then to get a solicitor to basically get them off with drinking driving. That was the whole idea. And we continued to evolve and to change this campaign. And it didn't actually take that long, probably 2 to 3 months to get the campaign running and to start to see a result coming in. But interestingly, once we started seeing the result coming in, all we did was a multiplication of what was already being done. So instead of spending, say, £1,000 on the campaign every month, we increased it to £2,000 to double the leads and more. Then we went from £2,000 to £4,000, again to double. And eventually we got to a much higher figure. These guys were spending every month, and they were actually bringing in around £300,000 in sales every month, with a multiplication of the leads, £3,000 roughly a head, the average bill per head. So basically, we used the tools. We used the Facebook ads, we used Google ads, we used Instagram ads, but we used very specific images. We used very short, very instant headlines, and the call to action was always pick up the phone and phone this number right now. And quite honestly, the result was completely astonishing. I will tell you a little add-on to that story. When this client very first came to meet us, he came in an old 5 Series BMW. The second time, and maybe 6 months in, we met up again. We had dinner. After the dinner, I needed to get fuel for my car, so I drove to the fuel station to get fuel and filled it up. And while I was putting fuel in my car, in pulls this, I think it's a 924 red Ferrari, with a wing, the door goes up like a wing. And out jumps his client. And I said to him, "Oh my God, when did you get that?" I said, "Oh yeah, business is really good. I decided to treat myself." I thought, well, good for you. So, you know, they're certainly starting to dominate the market. The very final meeting when we wrapped up and handed everything back to them so they could do it themselves, the guy said, "Oh, straight after this meeting, I'm going to pick up my new Rolls Royce." So if the research is done, if the time is taken, if the appropriate journey is worked out of the client and the client's needs, if the triggers and the buzzwords are all in place, it really isn't that difficult. But, you know, like most people do kind of expect instant results. With that kind of campaign, you have to take it a little bit slower because of all the testing and everything else that takes place also. And that is the absolutely true story of a client who went from 3 to 300 plus leads every single month. And it was an astonishing success for that solicitor. And of course, he ended up dominating the marketplace for drink driving solicitor.